Hi, I'm Ramiro. Welcome to my channel. When it comes to financial planning and more specifically retirement planning, there's one product that comes up in discussion quite a bit, and that is annuities. And you'll see out there, there's a lot of opinions about annuities. Some opinions say they're really bad, and some opinions say they're really good. So I don't think necessarily the fault is with the annuity itself, but I think the fault lies with the advisor who may recommend the wrong type of annuity, or maybe even recommends an annuity when that's not even the solution. I think that's where the fault is. So in my video today, let's talk about annuities. So what is an annuity? Well, all it is just a financial instrument that helps you accumulate assets tax deferred over time, or it provides you with a stream of income over a certain period of time or for your whole life. And they're generally issued by insurance companies, and there's a variety of them. So in my video today, I'm going to discuss the different types, and I'm going to give you more information about how they work. And hopefully at the end, you're going to be much better informed and feel much more comfortable with annuities. But before we do that, why don't we take a little history lesson about annuities? The idea of paying out a stream of income to an individual or family dates all the way back to the Roman Empire. The Latin word annua meant annual stipends, and during the reign of emperors, the word signified a contract that made annual payments. Individuals would make a single large payment into the annua and then receive an annual payment for each year until death or for a specified period of time. The Roman speculator and jurist, and now I'm going to try to pronounce his name as best I can, but his name was Gnaeus Domitius Annius Ulpianus. I hope I did that right. Anyway, he was cited as one of the earliest dealers of these annuities, and he's also credited with creating the first actuarial life table. Roman soldiers were paid annuities as form of compensation for their military service. Now, during the Middle Ages, annuities were used by feudal lords and kings to help raise capital to cover the heavy costs of their constant wars and conflicts with each other. At this time, the most popular form of annuities were those offered in the form of a tontine, or tontine, I don't know how you pronounce it, where the fixed annual payments were shared amongst a dwindling number of surviving members, leading to an ever-increasing payment to the longest-lived investors. One of the early recorded uses of annuities in the United States was by the Presbyterian Church in 1720. The purpose was to provide a secure retirement to aging ministers and their families, and was later expanded to assist widows and orphans. In 1812, Pennsylvania Company Insurance was among the first to begin offering annuities to the general public in the United States. Some prominent figures who are noted for their use of annuities include one of our founding fathers, Benjamin Franklin, and that was for assisting the cities of Boston and Philadelphia. A famous baseball player, Babe Ruth, he used an annuity, and by the way, it helped him avoid losses during the Great Depression. And one of our past Fed chairmen, Ben Bernanke, in 2006, disclosed that his major financial assets were two annuities. All right, so let's talk about annuities. Obviously, there's a lot of interest in annuities. There were 34,800,000 Google searches in 1 month on annuities. So people are really wanting to find out more about these things. And even more important than that, there's been a recent annuity boom, and that is in 2023, annuity sales reached a record high of $385.4 billion. That's $385 billion going into annuities. By the way, that represented a 23% increase from 2022. So you got to ask yourself, if there's this much money going into these things, you know, there's got to be something to them. There's a reason why there's so much money going in there. So when we talk about annuities, annuities are offered by life insurance companies. All kinds of life insurance companies offer this, and there's all kinds of names for the products that they offer. I mean, there's probably over 1,000 different names. And one thing to keep in mind about annuities, and this is important, is that annuities are not life insurance. Sometimes people get that confused. What annuities provide is a financial instrument to help you accumulate money over time or provide you with a stream of income. Life insurance, all that does is provide a death benefit to you. All right. So remember that annuities are not life insurance. And not all annuities are the same. Like I was mentioning, there's probably 1,000, 2,000 different names for annuities out there from all these different life insurance companies. But when you distill it down to the basics, there's really only three types of annuities, and that's fixed annuities, indexed annuities, and variable annuities. So let me just briefly talk about them and give you a general description. So fixed annuities, what they do is they pay a fixed rate over a certain period of time. Think of them very similar to like bank CDs in that you buy them for, 5 years, 6 years, whatever, and the insurance company guarantees you to pay a certain fixed rate during that time period. And then when it matures, you get your money back plus whatever interest they guaranteed you. All right. So that's how a fixed annuity works. I'm going to jump to the far right and talk about the variable annuity next, because with the variable annuity, it works completely different in that you actually own investments inside the account. So they work very similar to mutual funds. They're called sub accounts. And they, like I said, they're very similar to mutual funds. And you have all kinds of different investments you can choose. So the good thing about variable annuities is that you can get market rate returns. So if the markets have been performing exceptionally well, maybe 20, 25% rate of return, well, that's what you're going to get in that account. Now, the flip side isn't so good because if the markets crash and they lose 25 or 30%, well, you guessed it. So will your variable annuity. It'll lose that value. So the money that you have in that contract can go up and down depending upon how markets react. So the fixed indexed annuity, which is in between, kind of combines the best of both worlds, in my opinion, in that with the fixed indexed annuity, your money is not invested in actual investments. It's not. So the value that you get paid in that, or the interest that you get paid, is dependent on an external index, such like a Standard and Poor 500 index. But you never are invested in actual investments. Your money is always in cash. And so when I've discussed all these three types of annuities with my clients over all the years that I've done it, I've sold fixed annuities, I sold fixed index annuities, and I've sold variable annuities. Like I said, I don't have, I'm product agnostic, so I don't have a preference over any one or the other. I recommend the one that fits the situation, and that's what you should look for. But I can tell you this, in my experience, working with the many clients that I have, when they're given these options, most of them tend to go with the fixed indexed annuity because, like I said, it kind of combines the best of both worlds. And let's talk about it a little bit more and why more and more people are selecting to put their money into these fixed indexed annuities. First things first, your money is protected from any potential market crashes. Like I said, it's not invested in actual investment vehicles in the market. It just kind of follows what certain indexes might do. So there's really no risk. Your money is always held in cash. It's not invested in the market at any time. Also, your growth can be guaranteed or it can be linked to a market index. So you have choices of how you want your money to be put in this contract. Some contracts offer a certain guaranteed rate of return or guaranteed interest. Others, what you earn in interest is linked to a market index that you choose. Like I mentioned, like say the Standard and Poor 500 index. All gains are locked in. So once the money has been or your interest has been credited into the account, it's never at risk or it's never at market risk again. So in other words, you will never give your gains back to the market. So once you get the interest put into your contract, it becomes part of the principal and it's never going to be exposed to market risk again. Worst case scenario is in a negative year in the markets, if the markets lose money, you'll just get zero interest credited into your account that year, but you will not lose any money based on market returns. So these fixed index annuities kind of provide a unique investment option in that they combine safety, growth, and income. But safety is always the first priority with these types of contracts. In addition to that, they provide tax-deferred growth, they are RMD friendly, and they can provide you income for life if you decide to choose that option. So people always ask me, okay, it sounds too good to be true. What's the catch? Well, there is some, and it's primarily liquidity, or your limited liquidity with these. So the money is not going to be liquid for a while. Think of it kind of like a bank CD. Once you put your money in a bank CD for the 2, 3, 4, 5 years, you can't touch it. And if you do, what happens? Well, you pay an interest penalty. Same thing with these. So you're going to have limited access during the contract term. Now, once the contract term is over, you get full access, and then you can do whatever you want with the money in that contract. So the first thing, the term of the contract, think of like a CD. And so very similar, the longer you go, the better the rates. And so fixed index annuity contracts come in 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 15 years, a variety of terms. But generally speaking, the longer you go, the better rates you're able to have access to. But keep in mind that during that time frame, surrender charges will apply during the term. So if you cash it out early, you're going to pay an interest penalty, just like you would with a CD. Now, the money is completely liquid after the term matures, and then you can decide what you want to do at that point in time. Do you want to roll it up into another contract? Do you want to change the term? Do you want to roll it over to another company? Or do you just want to cash it out and put it into something else? It's totally up to you at that time. There's a variety of ways to fund an annuity. So you can put it into an IRA. You can classify it as a Roth IRA or a non-IRA. You can also do a rollover into it, a transfer, an exchange from like 401k money or other IRA money, whatever. Or if you just want to just pay it in cash, just write a check for it. Totally up to you. So there's a variety of ways to fund this. So a lot of flexibility there. Now, one thing to keep in mind that whenever you're designing a annuity contract, you have to think there's two purposes for it. Okay, these are the primary purposes. You can either design a contract for strictly cash accumulation. In other words, you want to grow that money as much as you can over time, or your main purpose is you want to have income payments for the rest of your life. So those are the two big choices you have to decide on. Do I want to accumulate my cash as much as I can get, or am I more interested in creating a stream of income for me for the rest of my life? Which is more important? Because the way these are designed, they're going to be designed completely different depending upon what your primary goal is. And if you design it one for the other and you flip, then you're not going to be happy with that. So once again, if you design it for cash accumulation, just think of it like a cash bucket and you're going to grow it as much as you can. The other option is you just want to have income for life. So you say you want to receive a certain amount of money every month for as long as you live, then that's the contract that would be designed for you. Like I said, where people get in trouble is if they, decide on, say, a cash accumulation annuity, but they really wanted an income stream instead. That's not going to work very well for them, and they will not be happy with that contract. So keep that in mind. Whatever's most important to you, that's what you want to design for. So consider some other things too. And like I said, there's thousands of insurance companies out there, and they have a variety of different choices that you can make within their contracts. For instance, like index choices. Sometimes some companies only offer one index, like the Standard & Poor's 500 index. Others offer a variety of indices that you can follow and invest in. Also, the percentage of the index gains. Some companies allow you to participate 100% of whatever those index gains get. Some say they're going to say you can only participate 50%, 70%, 20%. It's all across the board. Some companies put in a cap and some don't. And what that means is what the cap rate means is that let's say the S&P does 15% return in 1 year. Well, they might say, well, we're capping it at 10%. In other words, the maximum you can earn is 10% return on that. And you give up on the other 5%. Some companies will pay a bonus for moving money into their contracts. And some have fees and some have no fees. Once again, it's all across the board. Some companies will charge you fees for different things within their contracts, and some of them won't. You got to be really clear on the fees because you don't want to be surprised about that. Well, I hope you enjoyed my video about annuities. I hope you found it informative and helpful. If you have any questions, feel welcome to reach out to me. I'd enjoy visiting with you. And once again, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, hit the like button on this video, and hit notifications. Hope you have a wonderful afternoon. Take care.